Hi, I'm Mary Greendale, and this is Just Thinking. Welcome to our annual series of interviews of candidates for local government offices. The town election is May 20th. We have contests for select board between a challenger and an incumbent. For Park Commission, we have 4 candidates for 2 open seats. For School Committee, we have 4 candidates for 2 seats with 1 incumbent. And for Library Trustees, we have 4 candidates for 2 seats. 2 candidates are incumbents, but 1 incumbent declined to be interviewed. That was an incumbent for the library. I am interviewing all these candidates. I have prepared specific questions for each board or committee. Each candidate will respond to the same questions for that office in their interview. I ask a few different questions of incumbents to reflect their years of service. Voters can compare the candidates' responses. The interviews are done one at a time and will be posted when all the candidates for an office have been interviewed. My goal is to have the videos run 30 minutes, except maybe longer for School Committee. I had a lot of questions. The videos will be available on HCAP's website, on HCAP's YouTube channel, and on our Facebook page. Let's get started. And now we're ready to introduce you to Tracey McSherry, who is a candidate for the Park Commission. Just to remind, let's see, Park Commission has 4 vacancies, right, for 2 seats. So
2 people running for 4.
For
4 people running for 2 seats.
4 people. Okay.
Yes.
Did I say that back? I said that backwards.
I think we both said it backwards.
Whatever. Anyway, so what made you decide to run for the Park Commission? And
I was inspired to run by really a deep belief in the importance of community and connection. I feel like, especially with COVID, and there's just been so much isolation, and I think that parks can really have a really important connection for everyone to have, community events. And as a mom, I've seen how important it is for my children to have those safe, well-maintained outdoor spaces. It's just so good for mental and physical health.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think it's even more fun for parents than some places you have to go.
Fair enough. Yes.
So describe your personal goals for your term.
I would really like to see our parks become more accessible, and also enhance the communication so that people are aware of what programs are available and can take part in more activities, and we can have more community engagement, and probably expand some of our offerings beyond some of the camps and kids sports, but to have activities for adults. And
Okay, all right. Now, so backing up, when you say accessibility, what are you referring to?
2 parts. One, physical accessibility, like it's, it would be difficult for somebody with any kind of a mobility challenges to get down to the lake at some points. And also, I know parking is like a big challenge at all of them, which makes it less enjoyable for people, and it kind of falls out of rotation in your things to do.
Boy, that's a tough one to crack, too.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I suppose the place that has the most likelihood is down by the lake, but certainly when you look at the one downtown, it's really tough.
Yes.
So do you have education or experience that you think is especially relevant to this office?
I believe so. I do. I have 2 careers. I'm a project manager and also a local realtor.
Okay.
And so I bring a wide range of experiences. As a project manager, I'm bringing teams together to work towards a common goal, making sure we're aligned with our timelines and resources, and sometimes competing priorities. And as a realtor, I'm working with families, understanding what they're looking for in a town, and I feel a deep connection with Holliston. We've been here for 15 years, and enjoyed all that the parks have to offer, really. So.
Do people ask you about parks as a realtor? Do they ask you what there's available?
Yeah, they ask what's, about the lake a lot, excitement that's available to join and take part in.
Some people call that, well, we'll get to that, crown jewel. Yeah, but anyway, what personal experience has your family had with the park programs?
Yes, yes. My family and I have benefited greatly from the parks programs. My kids have both spent several summers at Camp Potoma, and we've enjoyed, evenings at the lake and the concerts at Goodwill. It was like a big thing every year, that every day, every week we would go, and they would catch up with their friends, and
Yeah.
it was such a lovely night. And and we love all the trails, just walking on the rail trails. That's kind of what got us through the pandemic that time, outside.
It was a safer way to do things, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. How about the adults? Either of you, are there programs that appeal to adults that either you or your husband has taken advantage of?
So yeah, we haven't really done much as, the two of us as adults.
So when you're doing your exploration of ways to expand programs, you can
Yeah.
probably look at yourselves as saying, okay,
Yes,
what would I like?
exactly. Yes.
So you will be one of 5 people on this committee, and how are you, you mentioned briefly, but how are you working as a team member, and how do you think that experience will help you here?
Yes, I do love working as a part of a team. I really value collaboration. I feel like the best outcomes come when everyone is heard and respected, and new ideas are brought to the table. As a project manager, I work with a lot of cross-functional teams, and we have to balance our priorities and resources to reach a solution for everyone. And as a realtor, I am involved in negotiations between parties with differing priorities and viewpoints, and we need to have that negotiation and reach a mutually beneficial solution. And I've also been involved in community work. I've coached my daughter's softball team and chaperoned for ski club. And I'm also running a band book club at ASOP's monthly. So it's, I've got to interact with people throughout the community, and I think I will be a productive and effective member of the commission if elected.
What line of work are you in for which you do project management?
It's a pharmaceutical.
Okay,
Yes,
all right. So yeah, there would be a lot of competing interests in there, wouldn't there be?
Yes.
So is there a particular interest that motivated you to run for parks?
Really to work on building community. I feel like there's been a lot of isolation and a lot of division in our world these days, and the more that we can bring people together, I think the better off we will all be.
Talk more about how you see that happening.
I think by encouraging people to take advantage of these spaces through programming and communications, like making sure people are aware of what the spaces are, reminding them that they have access to come out and use the lakes or bring their kids to these playgrounds, but also when we have programming, make sure we really get the words out that get on social media and share about whether it's concerts, or I was also thinking we could have days where we have food trucks down at the lake. That just gives us a little more something, another reason for people to want to come down and participate and join the community.
Is there a kiosk or anything at the park building that's on the rail trail? Is there any kind of signage there? I'm trying to picture it, and I'm not seeing anything.
I don't think so. I don't
Yeah.
think there's any signage from the trail.
Yeah, the only one I can think of is the one at Basil's, because there's a restroom in there. So it's I know where that one is.
Yes.
But yeah, it's something to think about. You've got
that's a really good
built-in
point.
bulletin board
Yes.
opportunity right there.
Yeah.
So there are 2 components to the commission's work. There's the tangible properties that they have to manage. They have to make sure that the fields are lined or whatever and mowed and so forth. And then the other is the programming and making sure that there's broad appeal. Are you interested in any one of those or the other, and why? What in particular?
I don't think I would say so much one versus the other. I think they're both really so interconnected. We need the parks to provide that space for us to have these programmings, but the programming really brings the parks and the community to life. So I'd say I'm interested in both, though I do feel like they operate on different timelines as far as improvements to the parks are more of a long-term investment, and whereas programming, we can probably, make changes, offer new programs fairly quickly as interests of the town change.
Okay. Do you think that the two functions should be separated so that one becomes, the properties become the responsibility of the highway department, Department of Public Works, I'll get it, yeah. And while the commission continues to oversee the programming?
Yeah, I think it's something that's worth exploring. I think actually having the DPW taking over some of the maintenance and day-to-day operations is sort of in line with our Town Manager Act, where we're kind of trying to streamline government and modernize, and that would free up the Parks Commission, the elected commission, to be able to focus on making more strategic decisions. I do feel like the long-term strategic decisions as far as improvements to the parks and such, and how they should be used, really should rest with the commission, because we would be elected and to represent the wishes of the community. So
I think the DPW has been doing more and more over the years anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's more there has been conversation in the past more about just saying, okay, commissions, you don't have to worry about the properties at all, because it's pretty labor intensive or time intensive anyway. And, just slice that off, which is, it's different from just giving them a little bit of work that they maintain the parks.
Yes.
So, do you have any concerns about the park properties or any ideas of how to improve any of them?
Really, I'm saying primarily accessibility, making it easier for people to get there, making people aware of what the parks have to offer and what programming we have.
Are you familiar with anything that would make it easier for people, like on the sand? Did they put in the little, at one point there was talking about a ramp that was handicap accessible for people to get into the water. I'm wondering if that's there. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay, because there was at one point for concern about people, particularly those that were in wheelchairs and that kind of thing, or whatever. Anyway,
Yeah, that would be
I don't know.
something to...
It's just in memory back there in the cotton candy. So speaking of the lake, the crown jewel, as some folks call it, where do you think it fits into the town's priorities? And when I say that, I'm really talking about town broadly, meaning financial. What can we, why is it important, and what can we do to maximize it?
I think it is important as both a recreation space for, swimming and stuff on the beach, but also as a community gathering place. And I think I love that we have Camp Potoma there that offers a fairly affordable camp option and childcare support for working families in the summer. I'd like to see us maximize the use of it as a community gathering space. As I mentioned, maybe having food trucks or something there, like a little more, something that brings people to the lake, and or like organizing some events, like let's do like a community boating day or something.
Food Truck Friday, how about that?
I like that. I like that idea, yes.
And then you can plan your whole week so that you don't have to cook on Friday. You can go to the lake.
Oh, yes.
Are there any changes that you'd like to see in the operations of the parks or the park programs?
Really enhanced communication, making sure people are aware of what's going on.
Give me an example of any idea that you have, that because this is the bugaboo for every organization and every board.
Yeah, I mean, my husband and I were just looking at this the other day. Like, in order to find out the activities, it's like you have to go in and act like you're going to sign up for something, versus and people don't tend to get their information from a town website anymore.
Well, yeah, I know. We've in all corners of town, people have been talking about that. And somebody pointed out that now people don't want to have to go to find things. They expect it to come to them in the way that Facebook and
Yes.
and TikTok and all those other things bring things to them. Now we've gotten spoiled so
Yes.
that the idea of going to something seems to be either more effort than it's worth, or we forget about it because we're so busy reading the things that we've gotten.
Oh, I know.
So it's an interesting challenge. Did you and
Yes.
your husband come up with any thoughts about how to do that?
We thought about having some outreach on, some of the Facebook groups, but also having flyers or information at some of the places in town that people go to, like Coffee Haven or.
Yeah, I've often wondered why we don't have like flyers on the tables, or ask them if we could, I don't know what they'd allow, but
Yeah.
even if you're just there having coffee yourself, it gives you something to read, and then you sit there and say, oh, I didn't know about that. And,
Yes.
And you probably wouldn't know about it,
Yeah. I feel like those are the spaces where people
The library, too.
are. Yes.
The library, too,
Yes.
because, again, you sit down, you grab something to read, and it's like if there were, whatever about what was going on, that would be very helpful.
Yes.
But it is hard. It is hard, and that's the challenge for, the volunteers could do it. The staff is probably overworked as it
Right.
is, and,
Yeah.
and then, it's hard.
Yeah, it is.
It is very hard, and people are so busy they just don't hear it.
Yes.
So, at any rate, did you have anything that you think we've missed, or that you'd like to add before you do your 2-minute speech?
I don't think so. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You've got 2 minutes to just
Okay.
do the pitch on why people should vote for you, and look at the camera to the right and go for it.
To this camera?
Yep.
All right, thank you. Yes, I'm running for a park commission because I believe deeply in the power of parks and programming to bring people together, promote wellness, and create a stronger, more connected Holliston. As a mom and an active community member, I've seen firsthand how important our public spaces are, not just for kids and families, but people of all ages and backgrounds. My own family has enjoyed so much of what Holliston has to offer, from Camp Potoma to concerts at Goodwill, paddleboarding on the lake, and simple walks on the rail trail. I want every resident to feel just as welcome and supported by the parks and programs as we have. Professionally, I bring 2 meaningful careers to this table, as a project manager and a realtor, and these roles have given me skills in communication, negotiation, collaboration, and community engagement. I work with cross-functional teams to get things done and connect every day with families who are looking for more than just a house. They're looking for a place to belong, and that perspective shapes how I approach this opportunity. If elected, I will focus on inclusivity, accessibility, and communication. I want to make sure we're reaching more people with programming that satisfies our town's evolving needs, whether that's offering more adult wellness programs, improving signage and accessibility, or simply helping residents understand what's available and how to get involved. Our parks programs already do a lot of good, and my hope is to build on that foundation and help even more people feel connected to this town that we love. And one final point, please do not forget to vote. May 20th, make a plan. Last year, the race for Select Board was decided by 1 vote. So trust me when I tell you your vote matters. Thank you.
Oh, yes. How soon I forgot. My goodness.
Yeah.
But it is true.
Yeah, it is.
And small government, small town, but also the other place your vote really matters is a town meeting.
Yes, it's true, yes.
And again, 1 vote can matter.
Yes.
So anyway, thank you very much, Tracey.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching Just Thinking. You've done your homework. Now please remember to vote on May 20th. It's important for you, your family, and our community. Thank you.